In part one, you built a personal AI marketing assistant. You set it up, you ran the setup wizard, you also got your Claude.md, your context file, and 6 skills loaded and ready in your operating system. A lot of you watched it, and one comment in particular stuck with me. I'll read the comment. I was literally going to ask how to make it generate files in other formats like docs or PDF. And this other comment that says, Claude is not so creative when writing posts. Is it possible to ask the agent to use a different model? Both of those questions are great questions, and the answer to both of them is yes. But I must say that if you are using Claude Code within your VS Code, then you will only most likely have access to all the models within the Claude family. But if you're using other LLMs like ChatGPT or Codex into your VS Code, then you have access to the models in that family as well. I'm going to show you how to change the models within the Claude family in the first 5 minutes of this video. And I'm going to show you 3 new skills that you can add to your system today. I will show you a blog and SEO writer that produces full articles plus metadata in one command, a WordPress publisher that takes a draft and pushes it to your website live without you having to touch a browser, and a Brevo integration that turns your email draft into ready to send campaign draft without you leaving the terminal. If you're already set up from part 1 of this video, you can start adding all of this today. But if you have not watched part 1 yet, the link is in the description and in the card above. You will need it before you can continue with this one. Everything here builds on that foundation. Okay, so let's go. Okay, question 1. How do you export docs or PDFs? Short answer is just ask. You don't need to open the skill file and find the right section. You just tell Claude Code what you want and it makes the change. So for example, I'm going to type in this command into the terminal. I'm going to say update the email writer skill to also save a PDF version of every draft it produces. I'm going to send that off. It's going to produce it, and we're going to wait for it to produce it. So you can see it's currently working. Let me close this off. And you can see that it's now. So now let me check what tools exist. It's checking the existing tools. And what I wanted to do is to update this before. Well, I would like us to see how it's working. This is the email writer, and that is what we told you to say. You should update the email writer skill to also see PDF version. If you want to update all the content creation skill set that you have, for example, content calendar, brief writer, and you want it to do the same, you can prompt it and tell it to do exactly that. So right now we're giving it the instruction for this one. Now you can see it's currently rewriting. Don't forget that I'm currently on the auto mode here. So you can see the auto mode here, and that is what I'm currently on. If you are on, say, maybe you are on I don't know, plan mode or it automatically, just note that it'll be asking you permission to make the changes that it needs to make. But let's take a look at where we are right now. Right now, we stop at step 5, and it just says show the full email, ask ready to use or anything to change. And this is what is currently going to update. So let's see what's happening here. It's So it said the auto mode classifier blocks the edit because adding bash to allow tools in a skill file widens the permission scope. So to save the real PDF, the skill needs to run the tool save PDF PI or something. That means adding bash to the skill allows tools. So do you want me to make the change to the skill file? It's asking me that question. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to send that off so it can make the changes that it needs to make. I don't know, my computer is it's in a very funny angle. So I'm going to click it like so. So it's currently making that change. As you can see, it's channeling. So we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to speed up this process so that we can get to the end. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible because I've seen that a lot of you like short videos, and so it doesn't take too much time when we're waiting. I'm going to speed it up or cut it depending on what it is. But I like to speed it up so you can see the process as it is working. For those of you who might be it's seeing something here. That hint is just VS Code. So it's making changes now. So it's telling us it wants to add this step 5. You know, step 5 is here. It's going to update to step 5 to run something else. That's what it's currently doing. So keep an eye on this side of because this is the document or the .md file it's currently working on. And we're going to see the changes that it will make. As I was saying earlier, if you're watching this, you can pause it at this point so that you can wait for your own setup to catch up. But I'm going to speed it up or cut out this part. Okay, now you can see that it's added it. It has updated the step 5 section. You can see here that it is saying replace the file name with the exact path used. Saves in matching PDF alongside the markdown draft. So it's telling us that this is what is going to happen. Now it has finished the work. It says the scale now saves both .md and .pdf for every draft. So, but note that this particular draft is for the scale.md file. If we come to the content, so let's say brief writer, it doesn't have that. Let's go to the end of it. I don't see here. So it's only stopped at step 4, and it's saying it's going to save a .md file. If you want it to do for this part, when you are making the prompt, you can identify the different scale you want it to have, the doc version or the PDF version of the output saved. So you need to identify the different scales so that when you're prompting it, it works on all of the files simultaneously. The other alternative would be for you to go and do it for each one. So when you finish with this email writer, for example, you now do it for brief writer, you do it for content calendar, you do it for each one of them. Whichever way makes sense to you. It's just more efficient to do everything all at once. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to just do for one so that we can see the difference. Now that we're done with this, let's now test it. So I'm going to ask it to write a short welcome email for Meridian Consulting. Remember that Meridian Consulting is the a hypothetical company that we've been using for this series. So I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to say, write a short welcome email for Meridian Consulting's new client nurture sequence. This step is for us to test what it is going to do. So we are testing the email writer right now. I want to see that it goes ahead to create the docs, the document in PDF. Just so that we're clear, let's come to project. If you come to email, for example, you can see that your email does not have anything, just have an empty draft. There's nothing inside. I clicked on it and there's nothing here. So we're going to test this out. So let me send this off and see what happens. So it's currently working. While we are working on this, don't forget that I am open to updating this. This is an operating system, and like I mentioned in part 1 of this video, I did part one video. I did say that you can add functionalities to this operating system. So, and I'm building this specifically for marketing people. So more like this is like for marketing, for the marketing function. Depending on your function, depending on what it is you want to do, you can identify this type of skills, the type of agents that you want, and all you need to do is tell Claude in the chat, this is what you want to achieve, and it goes ahead to do it for you. If anything is confusing, just ask the question. Ask it, this is confusing, you don't understand why. And sometimes Claude Code tends to push the responsibility back to you to do it yourself. And if you're not technical, it might look daunting. So what I would suggest for you to do is to ask it. When it pushes something, tells you to do something, ask it if it can do it for you. If it can, it will tell you it can, and it will tell you what it needs to get it done. If it cannot, it will tell you it cannot, and you can ask it for step-by-step guide on how you can do it yourself. That's the goal, and that is how you learn. So let's see what's happening here. It's pulling out something to generate PDF. I think it's finished the work here. This is the marketing email nurture sequence. It's now saving the draft. So that means if we come here, for example, see that it has already created the draft. This wasn't there before. So if I click on this, you can see what the draft looks like. But this is in the .md file. This is markdown format. So this is the first welcome email. Now it's finished the work. It says here that it has finished generating the PDF. It says this is the PDF here. So if you click on this PDF, you will see it looks like this. Now, let me warn you, in case you see this and you click on the PDF inside the chat, it might look funny. All right. Depending on what kind of tool you're using to generate your PDFs. So if you see something like this, just come to the side where you have the folders, where you have these folders organized, and click on the PDF sign. You can see the PDF here. You click on it, it then shows properly. So this is what it is. It's exactly what the content that you have here, and just put it in PDF. If you go to your Windows or File Explorer rather, and you navigate to this particular file inside your File Explorer, and you come here, you will see it saved as PDF, and you can share that from that point without accessing it through your terminal like so. So the second question was asking if we can change the model that was used in generating this, because of concerns that Claude does not generate. It's not very creative when it comes to generating or producing content. And I do tend to agree. Now the thing is, yes, you can access other models, but if your operating system is built on Claude Code, it means that you only have access to models that is in the Claude family. So, for example, if your operating system is built on Codex, which is from ChatGPT, then you have access to all of ChatGPT's models. But this is Claude Code, so you only have access to Haiku, Sonnet, Opus, and Fable 5. So let's work on the model change. I'm going to just go into the terminal and give you the instruction to say switch the content agent to use Claude Opus 4.8. 4.8 is the most latest variant of the Opus model. So I'm going to say switch the content agent to use Opus 4.8. But before I do that, let's go and check out the content agent, shall we? This is the content agent, and like it has this initial block at the top of the .ng file. So you can see here the model says Sonnet. So I'm giving it the instruction to switch it to use Opus 4.8. Let's see what happens. So it's currently working that on it. Let's see what happens here. So this is the file. You should see the difference at the top here when you click on it. So let's wait for it to make that change. There you go. So it has already done that. It's changed it to Claude Opus 4.8. So the agent's front matter has been updated. So it's finished the work. So you can see everything is done now. Opus handles nuisance better. It takes more creative risks and is less likely to produce that stiff, overcorrect response that Sonnet tends to produce. For your content agent, where you will need it to design something more creative, Opus is worth it. But note that Opus costs slightly more if you are currently on the API type API access. It will cost you more and it will take time. But if you're currently on the pro account access, then it will just slightly take more time. But just keep in mind that it is worth it. The time it takes is worth the creative content it does produce. So there you go. 2 questions answer. Now, let me show you the 3 new skills that we're going to add to this operating system. The starter pack from part 1 had 6 skills. Today, we're adding a 7th, a blog and SEO writer. You don't need to create any folders or write any skill files yourself, but you just describe what you want in plain language and Claude takes care of the rest. I'm going to type in this prompt into the chat. I'm going to say, add a blog and SEO writer skill. When I give it a topic and a target keyword, it should write a full article of 1,000 to 1,500 words. Generate an SEO metadata blog at the top with a title tag, meta description. If you're familiar with SEO content generation, which I know that most marketing people are familiar with, this is very useful. We're going to tell it to generate one with a title tag, meta description, and the URL log, and save that into the project file, blog and draft. Now, it should read the context that we have here. I think we had context somewhere here. And then it should also read the target audience as well. I think we have that somewhere. Yeah, let's target audience, there's context, brand, voice, and campaigns under the context. So I'm giving it this and I'm going to send it off. It's just similar. Like I said, every new gent you want to add, any new skill you want to add, all you need to do is just discuss or just tell Claude Code in the chat or in the terminal, and it will go ahead to do it for you and match with the click on that. So we see it here. This is a new skill. So we have a blog SEO writer that wasn't there before, and this is the skill.md file. So it tells us what it does. So you can see all the information about how to go about the step-by-step guide that it should follow when it is designing the content. All right. So you can see here in terms of, it says that's finished, has created the skill. It reads the brand, voice, and target audience, confirms topic, plans the article structure, writes it in 1,000 to 1,500 words, saves it, and it has it here. So it is triggered with the keyword. Now let us run this. I'm going to ask it to write a blog article for Meridian Consulting. I'm going to tell it to write a blog article for Meridian Consulting targeting the keyword operational efficiency for mid-market companies. Audience is operational directors, and the goal is inbound leads for discovery calls. I'm going to send that off. This time around, we are testing it to see how it works. So I'm going to send that off and we're going to see what it does. So you can see that's first thing it did because it knows that question for a blog article. Now the skill was just created in this session. So like I said, again, everything you need it to do, you can ask it and it will just point you in the way to go about doing those things. Okay, so context is loaded, writing the article now. Just decided on the input. So it's a structure the plan. So there's an intro, keyword in the first 100 words, what operational efficiency actually means, and call to action for discovery call. So it's done, it's doing that, it's currently writing. So you can see, we are going to see it right. It's already created a blog section and it's currently writing this. So it's generating it, then generating PDF from it. Okay, so we didn't ask it for PDF for, but it is now doing the PDF thing. So it's doing it for all of the content creation draft. So right now we have it here. So let's click on this. It has a title. Most operations directors know when something is wrong, and that first sentence already targets the audience. It's not talking about Meridian Consulting at first, targeting the audience straight away from the first sentence. So this is the article. Let's look at the article in PDF, so maybe it's easier for everybody to see. But you see that it has structured it very clearly. So everything's clear. There's a next step and there's a discovery call to action. So that is the first skill or agent that we have created. So we have it already, and you can send this off for anybody who's going to review it for you or someone that was going to approve it. It has a slug, right? The slug that you should use for it. It has the metadata description too. Now let us take that draft that we've created and publish it. So the WordPress publisher is the next skill that we are going to create, and it uses a WordPress REST API. It works on a self-hosted WordPress site, and it works on your WordPress.com business plan. No plugin needed. WordPress has a REST API right out of the box. So if your website is a WordPress website, just go and get it from your WordPress website. Now, the thing when I say WordPress, I'm talking WordPress as the CMS, not a WordPress.com site. I'm talking about any website that has a WordPress CMS. So if you already have that, all you need to do is to go and get the API. Now, the thing about APIs is that you don't want to drop your API directly into the chat. There is something called an .env file. .env file is a file that is saved in your local computer, but it's inside this folder that you're working out of. That means a folder called Claude Code Marketing Assistant, for depending on what name you call your own folder. Now you will need a .env file to save all your passwords, APIs, any sensitive access codes that you don't want to be out there. Okay, so for example, this my own personal setup has a .env file. This does not. So I'm going to show you how to create one. Like I said, every request you need to make, just ask Claude Code. So I would say create a .env file where I can save my API keys and passwords. So I'm going to tell you to do that, and it's going to go ahead to do it. The .env file, like I said, is called, it's a git ignore. Git ignore means that it's not going to be put out there. So you can see it on the left hand side, it's now creating it, and it's calling it a git ignore. So it's told us now, .env file, add your keys after the equal signs. Anthropic Google placeholders are already there. Now let me show you what that .env file looks like. Just click on it here. You can see it here. It's just empty. This is a file sitting on your computer, and it's git ignore. Now we can see Anthropic key, we can see Google Client key, any further key listed below. We're not going to need all of that, but what you need right now for the next part of our setup is your WordPress API keys. Okay, one quick note before we go into that setup. Meridian Consulting, like I mentioned before, is an hypothetical company, and I've been using it throughout this series as a stand-in, so you can see what the entire thing looks like without me exposing client data. For this demo, I'm going to publish to one of my websites because Meridian Consulting does not have its own website. For this demo, I'm going to publish this article to my own website, Glue Farms, which is a real life WordPress site. The article content is still the Meridian piece we just created, and I'll delete it from the site after we are done with this recording. The only reason I'm using it, a real site, is so that you can see an actual WordPress dashboard and confirm that this works for you end to end. 2 setup steps before we write the skill. First, go to your WordPress dashboard, go to users, then profile, then scroll down to application password. Then you create one, call it Claude Code, copy the password, then come back to your terminal and open your .env file. It's in the project folder, add the 3 lines to it, like so. So I have my Glue Farms WordPress API. I'm going to build, this is what it looks like. So I have the WP underscore Glue Farms underscore URL. Then I have WP Glue Farms user, and then I also have the app password. So it knows all of this. Please note the spaces in the application password and keep them exactly as WordPress generates them. Don't close the spaces. Once this is done, you can come back to creating the skill. Again, just describe it. I'm going to drop a description in the chat. I'm going to say, add a WordPress publisher skill. When I give it a draft file, you should read the file, extract the title from the H1, and post it to WordPress via the Rust API using the WP user and WP password from the env file. Default status should be draft unless I say publish. It should confirm the post ID and URL when done. So I've sent this off and is currently working on it. When it is done, we can test it. So it's currently, it said this needs 2 things, a Python tool that handles REST API call and a skill that orchestrates it. Let me build both. So it's still working. It's as far as your mind can conceive. If it's not going to be able to do it, if you need certain access to be able to do it, it's going to tell you. Don't be afraid to test. The idea is to test. And in order to make sure that you don't do anything that can change or that can be published out there, just change the auto mode to request permission so that you request permissions before it does anything external. So now it is done. It says, here's what was created. Tools published to API and all of that. It has created the WordPress publisher skill. Let's look at it. So you see that WordPress publisher, and it has that here. So we're going to test this out. So I'm going to type this into the chat and say, publish a Meridian operational efficiency article to WordPress as a draft. So I've sent it that information. Let's see what it does with it. So it's creating it. All of this is happening in the same chat, but it doesn't mean that it has to. As long as it is saved and ready, each time you open the chat, it will just go and pick the right one. So the tool expects that, but your entries use Glue Farms to prefix you. You need to add the 3 generic keys to your env. The values are already under the Glue Farms entry, so it's a straight copy. Once you have them, let me run and publish them again. Not sure what it's saying. The tool expects a WP URL, user, and password. Your entries use Glue Farms. Oh, okay. So I see what it is saying because I have multiple websites. I have multiple. Since I copied it from my previous operating system. It's specified glue farms instead of the right API. So I'm going to open the .env file again, and I'm going to change the wp underscore URL to. I'm going to just remove glue farms from all of that. Okay, I'm going to remove this wp user, and I'm going to remove this as well. So you see, we're back to that. So it's better now. I'm going to tell it done. So that we have that. I'm going to close this off again, and let's see what it does. So publishing is publishing the article now. Just bear in mind that I copied the URL, the WordPress URL, or the WordPress access or API keys. I've copied it from a previous environment, because, and in that environment there were multiple WP access, so it was specifically tagged by the name of the website. So that is why it's showing this way. So I just corrected. I just follow that direction when you're doing yours. I don't think you will need that though, but just to be clear, there's no need for you to put the name of the company if you only have one. If you have multiple ones, then you can clarify by putting the name of the website inside the access, so that the agent knows which one to pick whenever you are publishing. Okay, so you can see it here now, what that looks like. Sorry, let me. So I'm going to go to the back end of my Blue Farms website. I'm going to open that and then log in. And then I'm going to be able to show you what that looks like. So I'm showing that right now. You can see what it looks like. So let's go to posts, or posts, check all posts. And under the all posts, it's currently uncategorized. So I've clicked on it. You can see what it looks like. So you can see it here now. See, operational efficiency is currently showing as draft, so it's not yet published. You can see the published sign here. So you can see that what it means is exactly what we had in the draft. So let me open this draft here. You can see it here. You can see the beginning. It says most operation directors know that when something is wrong, exactly what you have here, the different subheadings, what operational efficiency actually means, when mid-market companies most commonly lose money, all of that. So you can see all of it in here, exactly what it is. So it has pushed it there. All I need to do is say publish. If I had told it in my initial prompt, because I specifically told it to say to publish it as a draft. Can you see here? I say publish as draft. If I had specifically mentioned that it should make it publish it live, it will have gone ahead to do that. So it will be live on the website. I'm not going to publish, like I said, this is not for this website, and I'm not going to publish it here. Okay. All right. So that is for this particular skill. In your own case, if you trust it well enough, you might want to go ahead and ask it to publish live right away, right? So you've written the article, you've generated metadata, and you've published WordPress. All these three commands can be done without you copying and pasting anything. There's no need for you to log into any CMS until you want to check the final output. So the last one, Brevo. If you're not familiar with it, Brevo is an email marketing platform with a solid free tier and a clean API. And this integration is for when you're using, whether you're using it for newsletter or client nurture sequence. Same setup pattern like what we did with WordPress. Open your .env file, add 2 lines, add your Brevo API key and your Brevo sender email. Okay, you're going to put it there as so. Just enter and I will paste. Okay, so I've published my Brevo. So I've done that. I've included the Brevo. So it has all the Brevo information. Your API key is in your Brevo account. Go to account, then SMTP, and then API. You'll find your API keys there. Just copy that and paste them in here. If you use a different email marketing tool, get your API keys from there. Now type this into the terminal. So once you have set up your Brevo in your .env file, then you can now go ahead to tell it what it should do. So we want to create the Brevo skill. Okay, so I'm going to tell it to add Brevo skills with 2 operations. First, to add contact list via the Brevo API. If your own email marketing platform is not, sorry, I'm digressing here. If your own email marketing platform is not Brevo, please be sure to edit this part, because we are talking about Brevo here. So if you're using a different one, you can just follow the prompts or follow these steps. But please note that you need to update this so that you don't confuse the operating, or you don't confuse Claude code. Okay, so you put that in there. We have put sender emails, and status should always be draft. Return the campaign ID and then link it to the draft window. So I'm going to send this into the thing, and it's going to create a skill. The purpose of this video, I will not be able to connect it completely to my Brevo. Even though I've given it Brevo, I don't want to do the activity, or I don't want to test it out by creating it, because that will mean I have to open my Brevo account and show everyone what it looks like, and I don't want to do that. But follow this, and if you run into any challenges, come back to this video and drop it in the comments, and I'll be able to give you a step-by-step guide as a response to your comment. But for this video, I will not be able to show you what that looks like. Okay, so but I will let it create it for the purpose of this hypothetical operating system, because we're still going to continue to build on this. Okay, so this needs 2 It's telling us now that this needs two scripts, a skill file and a Claude.md update and ENV placeholders. Let me do the ENV first so I can send this clearly. So because I already created it, it's going to come back and tell us that it found Brevo in the ENV file. But if you are doing this without it, so you see now it says both Brevo credentials are already set, writing the two tools now in parallel. If you didn't have that before, it will come back to tell you that it's not there and you need to put the placeholder there. So like all you need to do is go into your ENV file and update the placeholder with your actual API key and email address that you use for your Brevo account. I used to send emails in your Brevo. So or in your email marketing tool. Like I said, any email marketing tool will work. I use Brevo because it has solid free tier and it also has good APIs. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this particular setup. Let's wait for it to come back and let us know that it has finished the work. So here's what was built. So it has created the contact POI, it has created the Brevo create campaign, and also it has updated the Claude skills Brevo skill set. So let's go and check the skills and see whether we'll find Brevo there. So there it is. We have the Brevo. So we have the skill that it looks like here. Status will always be draft. It will not send it. So you can see here that it mentioned that it will return it. Yeah, so that is what it currently looks like. You can see the email campaign as draft. Can you see it here? It's not going to publish it to keep it as draft. And so that all you need to do when you're ready, you go back into your Brevo and check whether all of the things that you need to put in there is there. Once you're ready, all you need to do is send. It even had the error handling as well. So that's it. Four things have been added to your marketing assistant today. Docs export, one line your skill file, and your development or PDF is out. Model selection, you can add and change model depending on what type of task you're given, you're trying to accomplish with your operating system. Blog and SEO writer, topic in and full outlook, full content out. I will save in your content folder. Your WordPress publisher, your draft goes straight to your site, whether you want to draft or send, no copy and paste. And then finally, Brevo integration, your email draft becomes a full campaign draft inside Brevo. All of this runs inside your terminal. No new tools apart from what you already have access to anyways. And then finally, Brevo integration, email draft becomes a campaign draft in one command. All of this runs on the same foundation from part one. No new tools beyond your API keys that you're already probably using already. In part three, we'll build two things: an analytics dashboard skill, pulls data directly from all of your sources, so you don't have to compile a report manually, and a campaign planner that generates a full brief on everything, a full brief about your content creation in one run. If you're not subscribed, you should be. I will not be updating the starter pack on my GitHub so that I don't confuse the people who will be watching part one of the video later. But I will update the title to indicate that this is part of a series after part three has been published. Subscribe, watch part one, and look out for part three of this video. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.